suffering arises entirely from greed and desire. Doesn't this sentence sound a bit too serious? It means to say, all of our suffering actually comes from our own desires. But what if this isn't just a piece of Dharma, Buddhist teaching, but the real drama that we are enacting every day? Today, let's have a good discussion about this topic. Okay, let's first conduct a thought experiment. Ask yourself, if the things in your life that make you the happiest turn out to be the source of your greatest pain, then what should you do? It sounds very contradictory, right? But you will soon discover that this might be more real than either you or I think. Part 1. We start with something everyone can understand. A seemingly completely harmless pleasure, enjoying delicious food. What is the problem with this? Think about it. Ice cream, cake, all kinds of desserts. Just thinking about them makes you feel happy, right? We have been taught since childhood that sweet means reward, means happiness. This is practically an instinctive reaction. Our brains have long been trained to believe that sweet taste equals good things. But here comes the problem. The argument here is that that good feeling is actually just us affixing a label to it. But the suffering that happens next, that is definitely not a label. Those are consequences so real you cannot ignore them. So part 2, we will take stock, calculate a bill. This sweet desire that we thought was so wonderful, what price exactly does it demand from us? You might be very surprised at how big the price is behind a small craving. The answer is at least 45 diseases. You didn't hear wrong. Simply indulging this desire to eat sweets is directly related to at least 45 known diseases. This number is truly terrifying. And this is not some cold medical report. This is a real scene happening in hospitals every day. Many people, just because they ate too much sugar, have their peripheral nerves and blood vessels completely necrotize, die. In the end, they can only undergo amputation, and it's cut wherever it has decayed. It is truly terrifying. So you see, this flowchart is actually very simple and clear. Step 1. Indulge a small craving. Step 2. Your body begins to degenerate step by step. The final step is the suffering you cannot escape, no matter how you hide. This is a path of no return. And do you know? The most terrifying part about this process is that it does not happen instantaneously. It is more like a chronic erosion, just like iron slowly rusting. Day after day, you might not feel anything at all, but the damage has actually been accumulating until one day the whole system collapses. Next, what part 3 will discuss might make you even more uneasy, because this kind of damage, it is not just directed at your body, it will also directly attack our most important organ, our brain. I don't know if you've ever had this feeling, that your mind feels groggy and cloudy. Memory declines. You can't concentrate, as if a layer of fog is covering your mind. This condition is called brain fog, and many pieces of data show that this has a significant relationship with the sugar we consume. This is the most paradoxical point. When we eat sweets, it feels like we are pursuing a kind of happiness and supplementing energy. But in reality, our brain is being corroded and falling into chaos. We think that few minutes of pleasure is worth it, but it might be exchanged for permanent neurological damage. In the original material, there is a very vivid analogy. It says this process is like the electrical wires in your brain, because they are corroded by the acidic substances produced by sugar, resulting in a break. Then, although the brain will try to connect it back, it often connects the wires incorrectly. Think about it. When the circuits in your brain are all connected haphazardly, the judgments you make, your work performance, how can your interpersonal relationships possibly be good? Your internal chaos will definitely eventually become the failure of your external life. Okay, having talked about so many terrible consequences, in part 4, let's talk about something practical. Just listening to me is useless. How exactly do you personally go and verify whether this thing is true or false? That's right, because no matter how much others say, it cannot compare to your own personal experience. To truly awaken, the only way is to prove it yourself. The method provided here is very direct, even a bit extreme. It is a 2-month self-comparison experiment. For the first month, you live like an ascetic, eating only a little bit every day, only drinking water during the rest of the time. Then, for the second month, you completely liberate yourself. Eat whatever you want to eat. Eat whenever you want to eat. Why do this? The goal is very simple. It is to make you personally feel how big the difference in feeling is between a clear mind and a chaotic mind. After you have personally experienced that world of difference, this will no longer be a theory, but your own truth. The last part, assuming you really did the experiment and also experienced it, then what is the next step? How do we go from I know to truly becoming I did it? The key lies in this word, awakening. You must yourself, from the depths of your heart, comprehend the truth of this matter. Only then is it possible for you to truly change. Otherwise, your decades-old habit will forever pull you back. It will keep telling you, oh, it's okay. Eating a little bit is very happy. So how to strengthen this feeling of awakening? There is a very ingenious method here. It might sound a bit strange, which is to go and teach others. The master who proposed this method said this is his own experience talking. He just constantly went and explained to others what things are good for the body and what things are not good. The result was that by the end of speaking, he himself remembered it the clearest and also carried it out the most thoroughly. This is truly interesting. So this brings us back to the most core concept. True change is never achieved by sheer willpower. But when you realize from the bottom of your heart that a sober and agile brain brings you a kind of sweetness that is far more precious than those few seconds of sweetness in your mouth, by that time, there is fundamentally no need to struggle, because you will naturally make the right choice. So finally, we will leave this question for everyone to think about together. In your life, are there also habits that seem sweet, but in reality, are quietly creating suffering for you?